So today I'm going to show you how to make a wooden sign. I first went to Lowe's and I picked up a piece of MDF. I wanted the sign to be 10.5 inches by 15 inches. So the first thing I did is I measured my board. I marked where I needed to cut. I use a table saw because it's the easiest saw for me. Always trying to remember to wear safety goggles and or some type of a mask. Always making sure you keep your hands away from the blade. Once I've cut all the boards, 15.5 by 10 inches, I take all the boards over to my sanding table and I will sand all the edges. Once I have all the boards stacked, I take them outside for painting. I always like to use a palette to place my boards on when I'm spray painting so that it lifts them up out of the grass. So I'll lay out all my boards on the palette and get them prepared for painting. I like using spray paint because my coats of paint are more even. Sometimes, depending on the paint, it may take 1 or 2 coats. These boards actually took several coats. Once my first coat dried for about 20 minutes, I applied the second coat. The second coat came out a lot more even than the first one. After I knew that the boards were dry, I took them back into my wood shop and I sanded all the edges and the tops to make them nice and smooth. I used a sponge brush to paint the sides. I have a Silhouette, so I use Silhouette Studio. I made the design on my computer and then I sent it to my Silhouette. I cut out all the words and the hearts. I use a carrier sheet, otherwise known as transfer paper, to apply to my design before putting it onto my board. With the hearts, I applied the negative space on because I wanted to use glue and glitter. So once I peeled away the transfer paper, I was ready to put the Mod Podge. I use a small brush to apply the Mod Podge in the outside of the heart. Once I had all 3 hearts Mod Podge, I used a red fine thin glitter to put on the Mod Podge. Once I was comfortable with the amount of glitter on there, I shook off the excess and I proceeded to peel away the vinyl. After shaking off any excess glitter, I brushed around to make sure that it was nice and clean, and the board is complete.